I have to do the newspapers, so great to be back.
We do indeed. So many of them this morning. Let's have a quick glance. Oh, by the way, hi, Mama V. How you doing?
Hey, hi, I'm good. Yourself?
Ah, yeah, I'm good.
I like your alon table tie.
Oh, yes, yes. Today I wanted to look like some sort of academic with 3 degrees.
Oh, you do?
I do, eh?
Yeah, what
Is that what the academics wear, usually?
We haven't
Especially
said
in
that.
the American collegiate system.
Charlie.
The dons, the professors, you see them in their bow ties. Especially the ones, the black American ones with bushy hair. And then they talk about emancipation, proclamation.
So that's your target. That's you're on the road to
the occupation. No.
Okay.
No.
I thought that's the target.
I don't have what it takes to be an academic. I can honestly say that. I've watched my father do it, and I know I can't.
It's too stressful for you.
Not that it's too stressful, but I don't have a desire for it.
Okay,
I love to learn, but not like that. You know, they have to do the theoretical learning.
Yeah.
And they have to master it. And I learn in very practical ways.
I want to be like that someday, by the way.
You would like to be a professor?
Yes.
I believe you can do it.
Yeah.
I believe you can do it. It takes a lot of diligence.
I'm giving myself some 10 years. Is that a bit too much?
10 years to become a professor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be done.
Okay. All right. So that's it. That's the objective.
You would have to do nothing but that, though.
Yeah.
For 10 years.
Yes. I want to.
What we are doing here, we'll be wasting your time. We'll be distracting you.
Small time.
So whenever Mama B is off camera, she'll be reading towards her doctorate. All right. Well, I've got the Ghanaian Times. There's the Daily Guide today, the Finder, Dispatch, and goodness, so many other papers as well. Do you want to start, Mama V?
Yeah, why not? Let's do the Daily Graphic newspaper. Front page of the paper. Cabinet approves petroleum hub in Western region is one story there. Also, government terminates road project with no marching fans. And here's the big one. If you thought all the University of Education whenever troubles were over, with the ousting of Mr. Avoke and Co. Well, think about it again. Here it is on the front page of the Daily Graphic. University of Education Winneba boils. Student protest dismissal of lecturers. VC finance officer accused of blowing some 5.7 million Ghana cedis on honorarium. You know what they say, when you throw a ball to a wall, it comes back right at you. That's what I feel is happening at the University of Education. Now, people who were together, who, you know, tried to get somebody off, are now at each other. I don't know. Back page of the Daily Graphic, though. Let's do strictly what's in the newspapers. Back page. NEDCO to raise $200 million to improve on operations. That's the Northern Electricity Distribution Company. But when you hear this and you see what's happening, at least where we are with the light outs, like, I don't know, how do we even call it? Like, no, we need to find a different name for it. What's happening is terrible.
This local.
Then you actually don't have hope. Like, you see headlines like these, stories like these, and you just read them and just move on with your life because it doesn't translate to what happens on the ground. Benin supports June 3 flood victims with $200,000. That's support from the government of Benin to support the surviving victims and families of the June 3, 2015 flood and fire disaster that claimed some 160 lives in Accra. Center spread of the paper. The 2019 Panafest Emancipation Day here. Royal procession in Asen Manson. Reverential nights at Cape Coast Castle. And a lot more. Okay, so you can take a look at it. There's Professor Issy Sutherland, Addy, giving her address at the launch. All of that in the center spread.
Okay. Can we do the times now?
You sure? You ready? Because I'm waiting for my, for my glasses.
Yeah. So please, let's make sure we get the glasses soon. But let's do the Daily Guide. On the front page of the Daily Guide, we have NDC snubs vigilante talks. Is that what it is? All right. Then we have Mugabe reports to CID and Salifu Mase.
CID ready.
Drone service for essential medicines begins next month. April. And then we have student gambling with fees. VC worried. Not the VC of UEW. This is Professor Dinkrapia. And Ghana Water Company Limited wins an international award is also on the front page of the Daily Guide newspaper. And then we have Dr. Kwabena J. dead. May so rest in peace. Why you?
Daddy Wulag man talk, mamla talk.
Why
Yeah,
you? Why you?
He said that?
The late, yeah.
What does it mean?
One fun guy. He's a cat killer, man.
Oh, there are many ways to kill a cat.
Yeah.
But you know that's a common expression.
First and
right?
last cat killer.
So I guess Ghanaians had not heard that expression until he said it.
Oh, no.
Which one is that?
No,
There are many ways to kill a cat.
I don't think so.
I think we had. I think it was in relation to the Supreme Court. I think a case in the Supreme Court at the time.
Why were we so fascinated by it? That's what I'm asking.
Oh, by
Because
him
it's a
saying
very
it.
common, very common expression.
You know, like he had a very interesting way of granting interviews and always coming up with something.
Yeah.
And this thing I just said, I heard him say on Asempa FM on Okosi saying some years back.
Especially when Kaba was hosting.
Yeah, and I was like, gee, like where is this coming from? Yeah.
Well, let's do the Dispatch newspaper. Also on the front page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, we have 2012 election petition ruling forced MPP to set up vigilante groups, Carlos Ahinkra says. And then we have up there, happy birthday to Adjoa Yabuafare, one-time DJ president. Also, he's the managing editor or the editor of the Ghanaian Times back in the day. God richly bless.
She got a front page happy birthday. Happy birthday,
absolutely.
ma'am. You deserve it. You deserve all the accolades. Yeah.
And then we have former AG paid 67 million Ghana cedi judgment debt with cabinet approval, Gloria Kufu. Tribute to late Kwabena J. We have the Daily Dispatch also telling us how you can subscribe and read the Daily Dispatch by just subscribing through your phone. I believe there's an app. On the back page of the Daily Dispatch newspaper, government's response on Osu Castle militia unimpressive, and this one is coming from the Pentecostal Council. We have the Reverend Frimpong Manso having his picture attached to the story. It's a story quote from Ghana Web, and then we have a number of stories also behind there. Please, that'll be it for now.
All right, well, I've got the Ghanaian Times and the Daily Statesman, and I've got my glasses now as well, so let's get going. Front page of the Ghanaian Times, banner headline, drone services takes off. It's been a while, it's been a few months since that was announced. Oh, takes off next month. Okay, I got excited there, but yes, next month, drone services will take off, according to the Vice President. Cabinet approves 67.3 million Ghana cedis judgment payment to CP, and that's what the Attorney General apparently is saying. That's in PAC. Questions were raised about whether or not that payment was made with parliamentary approval, and the Attorney General...
Cabinet approval.
Cabinet, thank you, Cabinet approval. And the Attorney General came to speak for the previous Attorney General and explained that yes, indeed, that happened. Government inaugurates National Earthquake Preparedness and Response Committee. Okay, let's see what they put together, but that's a very important move there by government. On the back page of today's Ghanaian Times, Gegzim approves 13.5 million Ghana cedi facility for integrated cassava project. You know, we love abbreviations so much that the Ghana Exim Bank has now been made Gegzim. Anyway, 23rd Ghana Trade Fair ends in Accra, and there's a picture of Dr. Agnes Edu, who's a managing director, CEO of the Ghana International Trade Fair Company, speaking to the press there.
I'm talking about abbreviation. You remember back in our days, we used to, what do we call it, memorize, if not chew, all the abbreviations of the day. But now they become too many.
And in fact, there were enough of them. There were a few enough of them for us to
manageable
chew them
ones
all.
for us to.
And why were we doing that? Why did our teachers think it was important for us to do that?
Current affairs then, because there was no Google for you to go quickly find out what UNESCO was. So, but now if you tell a young person who is around 15 to tell you what UNESCO was, the person will just go and Google and tell you the United Nations Educational Center.
I feel cheated.
Yeah. There's this.
I was 10 years old by the time the internet was invented.
You remember back in the day we used to draw grasshopper on the board with a chalk, and the teacher will get all dirty, having the remnants of the chalk all on the dress. But now grasshopper is just on Google.
Indeed. Google will label it for you, Kra.
Sad.
Your teacher can
the things
stay
we
at
used
home.
to do.
All right. Well,
you can turn back the hands of time.
Oh, Mama V. That's a Mama V answer right there. That's a Mama V answer.
I'm just saying.
All right. The Daily Statesman has this banner headline: Lordina to lead 2020 campaign. John Mahama learned no lessons from 2016, say insiders. Hey, when the NDC hears about MPP mentioning insiders, they get very, very worried. They want to immediately lock up their female MPs who they think are a source of leaking information. All right, no change at GRA, says authority rep. And Gabby's 10 questions. How could anyone object? I don't understand. How could anyone object to Gabby's 10 questions? Is that it? People can object to anything, can't they? All right, back page. Zinedine Zidane, Real Madrid reappoint Frenchman to replace Santiago Solari. And what a story for Zidane, eh? Women's World Cup 2019, England reveal specially designed kit. The kit will win, but will the team win too?
Definitely not.
That's it for me.
I'm reading this in the Finder newspaper. I'm a pensioner now. That's Van Gaal, former Manchester United
he's
coach.
gonna pay.
What is getting me smiling? Like he talks about spending time with his wife, and he had said to his wife had followed him around for 22 years. She left her job and followed him around, and he had said at 55 he was going to retire, but he didn't. He kept going till 65.
He was fixated
so now he's on pension.
Wow, is he now following his wife around?
No, they're staying put. I like that very much.
He's on.
There's also a certain.
He was on football opiate.
Oh, okay. On Dutch TV, yeah.
I tell you.
Okay, so
a good thing.
he gave us Rashford though, so we're grateful.
I'll give you many other players too.
Okay, let's do the Final newspaper proper. There is a certain story targeted at men, and I'm just going to re-echo because there are some women in Tema who are appealing to the conscience of men bosses and employers that take women on merit. Don't ask for sex before you give them jobs. I'll hit on it again. But let's go to the front page of the Finder. Why is Kojo looking at me the way he is?
Actually, no, I was looking at Roland. You live close to Tema, don't you? At Shaman.
Front page of the Finder newspaper. Here we go. Demo rocks University of Education Winneba. Students want Vice Chancellor dismissed. Kofi Nti, 2 deputies not sacked. This story was in the papers. I can't remember which paper exactly yesterday. But apparently he hasn't been sacked. But you know the thing about rumors, right? When you hear and they deny, it turns out.
It was on one of those up-and-coming or spoof websites.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was not really. Yeah, one of those
ones. And then traditional...
That media picked it up.
Oh, no.
But you know the first one, the initial names that were denied by the information minister.
Oh, but the list, some people have gone.
Yeah, so small.
Okay,
yeah.
But
they're saying that the local balance, small.
Back to the front page. Drone delivery of essential medicine starts next month, according to Vice President. I would wish that we write when the thing starts. Like, I'm tired of hearing it would start, and then tributes pour in for Dr. Kwabena J. That's on page 5 in the paper. Maybe I'll just do a bit of that. Oh no, we still have a lot more headlines to do. So I guess that's it for the Final newspaper.
No, that'll be it.
Okay, so former President John Dramani Mahama has expressed heartache at the death of a former national chairman of the National Democratic Congress, Dr. Kwabena J. The former member of parliament passed away yesterday morning at the Ridge Hospital. In a Facebook post yesterday, Mr. Mahama, who was recently elected flag bearer, said Dr. J's contributions to the NDC and the country were indispensable. So you can read on. It gives you a background of the man. He died 3 days after marking his 76th birthday on March 9. Dr. J graduated with a PhD in research methods and statistics in psychology from the University Strathclyde, Glasgow, Scotland, in the UK. I hope I got that right. Back in 1973.
What did you say? Okay.
You have to read it. So it gives you can appreciate who who the man was. Wayo, remember?
Yeah, remember that one.
Yeah.
You said the school.
There are many ways of killing a cat. That's what you were talking about.
The Scottish school.
Read about it. Read about it.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, those who want to get into politics, I think it would be very encouraging to read what's in the Finder newspaper about the man who just passed on, so that you know that you have to go into the game with something. You don't just
and then also he looks like one of those who went through the ranks. You know, they served from a certain level up to a certain point, and that's all we need for experienced politicians. Because I think politicians need a bit of experience, if not more of experience. Okay, can we now do some discussions? Can we have some discussions on what had been happening in the University of Education, Winneba? And especially knowing that if you go into the subject and what the commentary has been from the Member of Parliament from the area, and what the university community is also saying about the decision that been taken by the Vice Chancellor, it brings things or the discussions to a certain halt, knowing that they have a certain history, if not a recent history, following the installation of this Vice Chancellor. And I'm thinking, for anybody managing an institution, you need a buy-in of the community or the organization that you're managing, and making sure that you communicate your decisions thoroughly if they are accepted, so that even if you're standing your grounds, there's some level of acceptance from those or the publics that you're communicating to, so that they get to have a certain acceptance of your management and the style with which you manage. I don't know what's really happening. It looks like the Vice Chancellor is on one hand, and the rest of the university community and the community of Winneba and the rest of Ifutu is on the other hand. I think somebody needs to go quickly in there and intervene before this becomes a bigger crisis than we're witnessing.
Yesterday on the Pulse, I interviewed the student leader, the SRC president. He kept calling me honorable. I don't know why.
Yeah, you look nice. You dress like an honorable.
If that's the only criterion that we use to call people honorable, that will explain a lot in this country.
So anyway, give you great respect.
Roland, let's stick to what the subject is.
Anyway, so yeah, he seemed to. Well, there are a couple of things on his mind. First of all, obviously, they wanted all these people reinstated, particularly a specific lecturer who had been removed as part of this this process.
Is it Dr. Duku?
Yeah, I believe so, yes. This is a lecturer in one of the departments, and there's no replacement for him at the moment. He apparently teaches about 5 or 6 different courses.
Oh,
and
wow.
the students are very affected by this, and that was apparently the trigger for the demonstration. Of course, they also want to know...
But the governing council didn't know that when they were letting the person go?
The question of how much the governing council knows is clearly a part of this debate, isn't it? You know, and the judgment, the questioning of their judgment in what they've done is part of this debate. Yeah, they also wanted to know why the Vice Chancellor has been removed, and you know, they didn't want to hear anything from Mr. Afenyomakin either. They thought he should stay away from the debate. But it was interesting speaking to him. I asked him whether he had lost control of these students, because we saw the videos of them. Rioting.
It's the fundamentals, eh? It
Yeah,
always comes
them.
back. Yes.
He kept saying that no, they are under control. Clearly they're not, but you know, he insisted that they are, and that he was going to have a meeting with them later, and hopefully that would bring some
good luck to that.
To
we
the
use
situation.
the courts to get rid of and remember, the person I really want to hear from now with all of the things happening is Raymond Atuguba and the president Akufo-Addo. Yeah. How does he feel after all the suggestions, all the things, the letter that Mr. Atuguba wrote, you know, when he was leaving as a lawyer to Mr. Aboke, and I think 2 others, right? And then subsequently when this new Vice Chancellor was being sworn in, you know. I'm not surprised that we're here. Anyway,
such is life. Shall we talk about this? The government has formed a committee to disburse funds to the June 3, 2015 twin disaster victims. You know, it happened just down the road from me, from here at Circle.
Is this related to the donation that came in from the government of Benin?
Yes, that is also mentioned here. So this is basically the disbursement of money that has been raised by different groups and organizations on behalf of the victims. So government is taking that task to set up a committee to disburse money that other people raised for the victims. It just brings back the question, what indeed was government's determination of the cause of this? Where does the liability fall? Or should we take this to court? Should this be determined through a court so that somebody actually who is responsible pays? Because it's nice that people are donating. It shows we care, right? I donated. In fact, I went there on my birthday in 2015. I spent my whole birthday there just giving out food to the victims. At the time, June, my birthday was 8 days after the disaster. So people were still, living with water in their homes, and it was quite a harrowing experience. So a lot of people have given because they care, but is that it? Are we ending the matter there? Are we not going to determine fault, liability, so that somebody whose negligence, actions or inactions caused 157 people to die in floods and explosion, that person or individual or organization will pay for this? Why are we not pursuing that? Why are we not pursuing that?
But we do know that there was a committee that was set up to investigate this, and I think they came out with a report.
Have you seen it?
There was some discussion we did on it some time ago.
On the report?
Well, no, on the submission or the coming out of the report. It's the content that I'm not too sure about.
But as usual, the contents are a state secret, right?
And then
my family members die, and then the government that works for me looks into why my family member died, and then when the government that works for me finds out why my family member died, the government that works for me tells me that it's a secret. I won't tell you why your family member died. I once used an expression on radio that I got sanctioned for. I won't use it again.
A cycle disaster report. I'm
sure knows what I'm talking about.
Now, and subsequently, we have a certain history to forming committees to disburse funds and some reliefs, etc. At least in my practice within this generation, I remember the May 9 Stadium disaster. At the time, we had Jake Obechebi Lamtia, at the time, who was then responsible initially for giving out the donations, etc. Apart from trying to pin down what the causative factors or who may have caused it, and likely trying to link what the effects could be and what the compensation packages should be coming from those who caused it, there's always a question about how we get to arrive at what is in the kitty for everybody to benefit.
Which kitty? Whose kitty?
The donation kitty.
Yeah, and who what has that got to do with government? Did government donate?
Well, the government will be one of the agencies that will provide all forms of donations, and government donation
like
in this instance was catering. Was catering for the medical bills of the victims.
Is that a donation?
Well, it's a form of welfare provision of a sort. So government has contributed.
So you mean it's our own money?
No, not in this instance, but I'm talking about the provision or the contribution that government has also made in trying to give some relief to the victims involved.
What contribution is that?
Well,
paying the medical bills?
Yeah, paying for the medical bills.
That's a contribution.
It's a contribution of government in many other ways.
To be perfectly honest, we have a national health insurance scheme that should cover these things anyway.
The health insurance scheme doesn't cover every aspect of healthcare delivery. And for example, if you want to do plastic surgery, for which many of these victims needed, it's not covered under the health insurance scheme. You have some essential medicines that could be covered after you do or you go through surgery, but then you will not be covered for the surgery, the cost and some of those things. And government said, look, I wanted to take part of this.
So I live in a home in Accra. I pay tax. The city that I'm paying tax and levies to keep clean and habitable floods because my taxes are not used to keep it clean and habitable. I get burnt. Government says, okay, go to the hospital and get treated for your burns. And I say, oh, it's a donation.
Well, what I'm trying to...
Okay, shall we move on, guys?
No, what I'm trying to point out is the government has made some sort of contribution. I guess where you're trying to get to is the point that we don't seem to have the activity or participation of government in providing relief.
So why don't we just punish those who didn't do something?
That's what Kojo is pointing to.
And those who did something wrong.
And that's where we all want to know what's the outcome of the committee.
Yes, exactly.
But we also know that if you tend to monitor what the investigations and the utterances from the committee had been, we're told that there was a cigarette butt that may have triggered the fire.
Shouldn't they give us the entire report so that we can look at it ourselves instead of give us
it's a great question.
Bits and pieces of it?
In my spare time, I compile a list
of the victims.
A list of all the documents that I will personally request as soon as the right to information bill is passed.
Almost all the fires that we've had, we haven't had, even though they would tell us we're investigating, the last Makola fire, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of things that we don't know. The Kumasi, 7 people gunned down. The police told us they were armed robbers. A committee was set up. It turned out they were not armed robbers. What has happened to those people who said they were armed robbers?
Let's give you one more. People used fraud to get visas to Australia. The president said, let's look into it. We looked into it. The president came to tell us who didn't do it. We still don't know who did.
Yeah.
As for the list of who didn't do it, I don't know why that's useful. I mean, I know Roland didn't do it. You didn't do it. I didn't do it. There are probably 29.99 million Ghanaians who didn't do it. But who did it?
And no.
Yeah.
Let's do myjoyonline.com now. There's a story in the final news. Maybe I can just bounce it off you whilst we get. Okay, here we go with myjoyonline.com.
Cardinal Pell.
Yeah.
It's hot.
So no changes in top management at the GRA. That story is on myjoyonline.com. Also on the page, why vehicle repair workshops must be insured.
Which of the workshops?
Cardinal jailed for child sexual abuse. Remember, this is the man who was found guilty at one point, an archbishop, and then he was in charge of treasury at the Vatican. Yeah. I think he's been jailed for 6 years or so. 12 CSOs disagree with the Kufuor's bipartisan plan to end party militias. We have that conversation on our show this morning. UK Prime Ministers rejects UK MPs reject May's withdrawal deal again. Is the details of the divorce, right? So yeah, and there was 17 days. On May 4, NPP to elect executives to fill vacant regional positions. Majority vows to push through 2 billion Ghana cedis GATT sovereign guarantee. Of course, they will be successful.
That thing,
Ronaldo hat-trick leads Juve into quarter-finals.
The wizard of football. Alongside Lionel Messi.
All right, there are other stories on myjoyonline.com that you can check out. But how to ask someone if they like you without embarrassing yourself? Do you know how to do that? How do you tell someone I like you? You know?
We should ask women that. They traditionally don't have to do it often.
But
let's find out from them how
you're a very experienced guy. It's good that you started this for me.
So
how do you say it without embarrassing yourself, you know?
Oh, Kojo, you're experienced in what?
I don't think it's embarrassing to tell somebody you like them.
No.
I don't think it is.
But the embarrassment is the outcome. That
Roland, you don't have to analyze everything. I've just asked a simple question. Let's do traffic watch if you answer my question. Let's do traffic watch now. Yeah, guys.
Okay, so talking about Tema and the men living around there, we'll bring you what the outcome of how you get out of your home or your office and try to get to your destination this morning. And so we take you to the Tema end of the Accra Tema motorway. And those, you see the traffic coming from that area where you have the yellow silo kind of it. We have cementing. It belongs to Gassem. and is a storage facility for the contractors doing that port expansion project extension of the construction of the Tema motorway and the road leading to the harbour. So just in case you're coming through, you'll still be in traffic, but at least
this
if you're going through,
so bad.
no,
if you're familiar,
it's normal for those who usually will go through there. Let's go to the Birmingham Gifford Road, and you're coming through Spinters, you're using the bypass, you're going through the Airport Hills area. You can still use it. You're thick.
Oh, traffic is building,
in the thick of affairs. You're a big man, so it's slow. So don't worry at all. Just log on to Facebook, JoyNews on TV, watch us live. If you're the passenger, you're the back seat of the car, Charlie, relax on YouTube also. My Joy Online TV is there.
Yeah, I like that. You can carry us with you as you go to work.
Increase the viewership for us on...
No, that's not the point. Get information, useful, valuable information that you need. How about increase viewership?
And then let's know.
Yeah.
I've been looking at this article that
I haven't finished though.
But you don't need
please look at it while because I know
I haven't finished.
I knew that you will get interested.
Very
no wonder you're experienced. So we're wrapping up with this conversation.
Why are you looking at the article? You want
because I just realized it's an article for women. It's how women can find out if a guy likes them without embarrassment.
We have to go. So, Benedict is coming up.
No, let's look at this before.
Well, Patrick says we have to go.
Yes, because clearly it is women who fear embarrassment when it comes to stating their intentions romantically.
Oh, how?
I think so, because men are
is a crook.
No, men are socialized
to turn the conversation around.
Men are socialized to
I
do
asked
that.
my question. They decided to just
pursue women.
And we get rejected.
Stay with us. Benedict is on.
We don't worry about embarrassment
to share with you.
You don't worry.